Okay, in this video I'm going to show you how I create the ads. So we're going to open up the ad template, and this will be provided for you. Oops, not oops. We're going to go up here to. Now you're going to have access to the design resources folder, and that's where the template resides. So there's the template, really simple, wood background, red border, with a call to action on the bottom. So we're going to open up the images that we created in the previous video, or in our previous step, and we save that in our campaign folder and in the appropriate named folder. In this case, it's all I care about is dogs in this case. So and it's going to be T original, and that's where we saved the male and the female design, the design with the shirts on them. So we're going to open those two, and I usually open them at once, and then I do a erase background. So this gray part, I want to make it transparent, so I just use the magic eraser tool, usually at a tolerance of 10. It does a pretty good job. I could reverse that action. Sometimes going even up to 20 or even 30 sometimes does a little bit of a better job getting rid of the gray around this model, and I can see here that I did a pretty good job. What I look for is that when I do that, there's no degradation in the white of it, so, or in the model. So that looks good. So even on the next one here, I'll do that to the female one here. Boom, that works. Get rid of the gray here and get rid of the gray here, and that looks good. The bottom part you don't have to worry about too much because this is not, the bottom portion is not going to be seen in the ad. So you'll see what I mean. So next I'm going to now take these models over here. So I'm going to copy this one over, and there it is. So obviously we have to resize the model inside the ad so that it fits properly. So what I do is I hold down Control and then T. Control T is a free transform. You can also access it by going to File or Edit, and then Free Transform. So now that we're free transforming, I grab a corner here, and then I hold down Shift and I shrink it. I always make sure to hold down Shift because it keeps the ratio the same. And as you can see here, the model is behind the red, so I'm using a mask. So it's behind the red, and it's above the wood background. So you can see here it's below this little layer here. Then I'll just nudge it into place. That looks good. And then I go apply. Good. Then I'll bring the male version in there too, and then I will free transform this guy and make him about the same size. Now note here that when I'm resizing the model, I want to get the design in there, and so the person that's looking at it can see it, even if they're looking at it on a phone. So resize it here. You can see here, I want to get like the whole top of the shirt in about like that, and it doesn't matter if part of the shirt's cut off, as long as you're seeing the design. I would like to keep the arms in there too, so they know it's a t-shirt as well. So as long as it's identifiable t-shirt and identifiable design, this will look good even on a telephone or on a smartphone. So now the two designs are in there. The next thing I do to make the t-shirt pop, so I'll just remove that layer, make it invisible. So we have the male t-shirt. What I do is I select the layer, I put effects on, I put on outer glow, and I change the color to white. and then I put it on this gradient selection, and so that just gives it an extra pop. I can bring the spread out a little bit more just to make it pop a little bit. Hit OK. Now I'm going to do the same to the female. So I'm going to make this invisible. I'll make this visible, and then I'll make the outer glow on this female here. Make sure it's white. Boom. And I can make it spread a little bit bigger. Just a little bit. Just to make it pop. Okay, good. So now we can save this, and all I do is go File, Save for Web and Devices. I save it as a JPEG, 100 quality 100%, and I save. And I save it underneath within the campaign. I save it under T ads. Okay, and then I name it. I usually just name it ad 1. There you go. Save. And then for the male, I go File. So I do the same thing. Save. And I'll go Add 2. Now you can see here Add 1, Add 2. The reason the naming is not very important is because I can see the image, the thumbnail in the directory. So naming convention is not very important. Save, Add 2. So that is how you create the ads really simply from the design, and that's it.